Around 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I posed myself a question about our thoughts.
Mm.
Right? What happens to our thoughts after we've thought them? Where do they go? Are they kept internally, or do they get released into the ether that surrounds us? Do we encounter them again? Like, for example, in the way of memories.
Mm.
When we remember something, is it that was kept inside us, or is it that it was floating around and we just encountered it again, and that makes us remember what the thought was?
Yeah.
It was quite a profound thought, which brought up many more questions than it did answers when I asked myself this. So, for example, can we think a thought that another person had had already, like ideas, or are they just coincidental? So somebody can have an idea, they'll think about it. We can have the same idea, but did we pick up their idea, or is it just a coincidence that we had the same idea?
Yeah.
Scientists, they when they have an idea, or comedians, if you like, or musicians, if they have an idea, they'll write it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Some people have a pen and paper, a pad and
Mm.
paper on the side of the bed. So
Yeah.
if they have a dream, they wake up, they can write it down.
Mm. Yeah. That case in point. Problems. Yeah.
So keeping in that vein, it
Yeah.
seems that a work entitled A Native Study Exploring Heart Memory by Al Yuhani, M. Imran, and Z.K. Al-Jaila et al., there were more, was published on the 30th of April of this year and said that there is emerging evidence that's suggesting that heart transplantation may involve the transfer of the donor's personality traits and memories to the recipients. Additionally, the heart's neural network and bidirectional communication with the brain supports the concept of heart-brain connection in memory and personality. So they say that the heart is it beats,
Yeah.
we don't, there's a word for it, involuntary,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's always in connection with our brain.
Yeah.
Our brain is where we do all the thinking,
Mm.
and they think there's some sort of connection between the two.
Right.
The researchers thought that changes could be brought about in the cellular structure of the donated organ. Other experts think that these changes are purely psychological, and the recipient of the organ is only thinking that their personality had changed, or changed because of psychological pressure. Uh, but either way, among many of those who received an organ, they changed in some way their raison d'etre or their being. Uh, could it be that because they had to go through a traumatic experience, they reflected on their own outlooks of life and or are overcompensating now that their situation has changed? Because if you are gravely ill and you're depending on an organ to keep you alive, I'm sure there's a tendency to reflect deeply
Cool. Yeah.
on what is the meaning of life and what you would do if you were cured. The Pentagon in the 1990s did a series of experiments to try and make soldiers read each other's mind on the battlefield, or remote thinking, hoping that spies could learn the skill to read the thoughts of the enemy. If this were successful and both sides of the conflict could do this, could wars be fought without even a bullet being fired? The Pentagon thought a little like I did, that our thoughts hang in the ether. Only they went one step further by saying that thoughts are a form of energy, and so the energy never dies. Therefore, could be picked up by people sensible to this action of picking up thoughts of others. Is this why some children claim to be somebody else when they're small? Because they absorbed a personality from the air. Of course, that in itself opens a can of worms about what we consider is our soul. Where does that go when we die? That's got you, hasn't it?
Oh no,
Away,
no, no, no. I've
away,
got the answer to that. Yeah.
away you go. Away you go,
Well,
son.
um, okay. I'm going to open with being, yeah, the my pragmatic engineering side. We are just a organism of chemical electro compounds. And yeah, yeah, we are a chemical construction that's controlled by electricity, basically. Yeah. And that includes our thoughts and everything. Our minds are electrochemically held, if you like. We have volatile memory, or we have permanent memory. Yeah. Our permanent memory is like we're like a computer, yeah, heart beating and everything else. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, they do study on faults and everything else. Yeah, manipulation. Certain frequencies can probably affect our thinking. Certain other things around us can affect us. We're all basically the same construction. Um, don't forget, our thoughts and emotions that come from experiences. Okay. Um, I Yeah, I mean, it's possible that we could release things into the ether around us using this logic, like electrical things. Yeah, you can go around somebody moves their wrists or probably brain activity. Yes, you can sense it around. Yeah, it's what it is. It's like when you flick a switch, if you hold a mobile phone to it sometimes, or yeah, you used to be able to tell when somebody was about to phone on your computer if you got a buzzing. Yeah. It's all electrical energy. It's all energy. Yeah. And you can't create or destroy energy. It transforms into something else. Yeah. On that level. Um, I suppose using that logic, it would be possibly possible to walk into somebody's energy and pick up something if we all work on the same level. It probably doesn't work for everyone. We probably can miss it or something else. Which would explain why sometimes, yeah, kids can probably, who are developing and all that, will be more susceptible than probably adults who have learned to filter it out or don't have the capacity anymore for
Let,
whatever
let me
reason.
ask you, have you ever walked into a room and thought, hello, there's something not right here?
As I get older, deja vu. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you walk into an I mean, if everybody could read everybody's minds,
Yeah.
nobody ever would be murdered.
Yeah. Okay. You'd be able to get into a defense thing or
Well,
something else.
you just get yourself away from the danger.
I mean, can you sense? Yeah, you can walk into a situation and sense danger. Maybe that is a skill we do still possess.
Or even a bad atmosphere.
Yeah. Well,
You
yeah. I've
sense
walked.
that somebody's been talking about you, for example.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can sense things as individuals. From, I mean, kids are very good at picking up on certain things, and yeah, children are very, very honest what they feel around them, and yeah, they'll pick up on things. They have no filter. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we probably are releasing energy all the time around us. Well, whether it's any good or how you could actually use it or be able to pick things up. Yeah, I mean, we can sense. different things, part of our interactions, our communication is probably sensory. Yeah. But you can walk into a room, look at people's faces. You could probably misread a situation as well, which I've done on occasion. Yeah.
That comes down to interpretation.
Yeah.
But that's something else, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, can you pick up a bad vibe from a place? Of course you can.
Yeah.
I've been in situations where I've walked into a room, I've picked up a bad vibe. I mean, okay, I've been to Dachau concentration camp. You can sense something evil there, but I had pre-knowledge as well. Yeah. I could probably put somebody who didn't know the history there, and they probably sense something very, very sinister about the fabric of the area. Yeah. Do I believe that? Yes, I do. Do I believe? Yeah, I mean, I've walked into rooms and I found out later they've been haunted, supposedly. But I'm not going to go looking for it. But if I've sensed something has been haunted, the other people have as well. There could be something, some reason why in that room we're picking up some sort of energy about it. There could be a rational explanation. There could be something that's causing harmonics around the area that's affecting our brains, or something else, or electrical cable, or anything else. Or sometimes people have actually sensed it without knowing the history of a place from hundreds of years before. I don't mean the mediums are going there, I'm feeling something. I mean, yeah, genuinely people have felt things hundreds of years apart. Yeah, there's a lot we don't understand as to whether we can put another organ or body tissue or something else in it, chemical reactions. Yeah, will the heart store information from the brain? Even nature will design two different things that function doing different functions. I don't know how much the same memory. I mean, I understand the brain is made of muscle material fibers, right, as opposed to heart. But the heart is a muscle as well. Don't forget. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible they will exchange different coding ideas.
Well, they have to for the heart to beat.
Yeah, but that's an automatic function. The heart will do that, but you don't need a brain to make the heart function. You could just put electrical current through it, and it will work. Yeah,
Well, that there is suggesting that the brain is sending an electrical current
of course it
to
is.
that.
Yeah, but it's an automatic function. Yeah, which is the point I'm making. It doesn't need to have any consciousness to do that. What you're talking about is conscious memory. I will go with more somebody's had a traumatic experience, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Okay, they've had a new heart put in them. They're thankful for another life. That's going to change it. I mean, yeah, you have mentioned before the fact you've had a heart attack. You have. Quite how close you were to the end, I don't know, but it was a life-changing experience for you. It's bound to change your personality more. You are probably more, you know, well,
I'm just as badass now than I was before.
yeah. But you are who you are. You're going to be who you are. But yeah, you're going to be more reflective sometimes. I'm lucky. I've come through that. Whereas suppose someone like me, he's going to say, yeah, probably have bad days. Oh, I'm really annoyed in life and everything else. I'm not just depressive. You know me, Steve. I'm not depressive. I get angry. Yeah, as we had an episode this morning offline where I had a computer problem, and I expressed my directly to Steve language I would never use online. Yeah,
Not my fault, people.
no, it
This
wasn't
time,
his fault.
this
He was
time.
just he's just a reciprocal of he could just yeah. He's a good sounding board. Steve is yeah. If you've got any problems, take it to Steve. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, we are emotional animals. I was seeing something the other day. Oh no, I was reading something about what is love this morning. I saw a quick video, what is love, because I was looking yeah, possibly a future podcast without giving too much away, Steve.
Too late. You've already
Yeah,
given it
yeah.
away.
But
That'd be
again,
interesting because that is something I've thought about a lot as well.
yeah, is love an actual thing, or is it a need, or is it an emotional reaction to things? Do we all give off different things? Again, it's related to this. If so, like you gave me the heart from somebody else, and I met, let's say, so I was a single guy, and I met their partner. Hope, yeah, assume it's a guy. Yeah, would I automatically feel an affection for her or this person? I'm assuming, yeah, I'm using male and female. I'm a straight guy, okay, but I'm not suggesting being exclusive like this. Um, would there suddenly be a connection? That's an interesting avenue. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm going to bring in something else. We're not too far away from being able to create organs in a laboratory.
Yeah, they already are.
Yeah, okay. They're just not widely used, or they've not admitted it, or something. Now, what will happen in that case? There'll be no memory. They'll probably use your own material, as it were, to grow this replacement organ.
We talked about this a long, long time ago. We did a
Yeah,
podcast
yeah,
about this
yeah,
chimeras,
yeah,
and you know,
yeah. But ultimately, yeah, then you're going to have the same memory of that. That will be interesting. The case studies. Um, you probably find that there'll be no change. The person, or the evidence would show that they're still going to have the emotional. Thank you for giving me some more time, wherever that comes from. Yeah, yeah. Thanking God. Okay, this is the whole thing. Is it the surgeon or is it God? God that's guarantees you more time. But yeah, thank God I've got more time. Um, it's again, that's interesting. That's an emotional thing. Um, we're driven by emotions. Even those of us that are a little bit more pragmatic are still driven by emotions, be they a little bit more of a cynical, pragmatic emotion. So I can answer the question. I don't think there's anything in it. This research, I will bluntly disregard this. Putting another organ into someone that's a functional thing is not necessarily going to change their personality. Um, you're not going to pick up memories from someone else. Maybe there's other things I don't know about. As you said, maybe picking up vibes from people. A child. There have been cases of children been talking to their mother in certain rooms, and they've been now. Is that a child reacting to something? Is that a child hanging on to something, or
you
have they
know,
actually seen something?
I was chatting to a mate of mine the other day about this, and he's a psychologist,
Yeah.
this mate, and he said that there was a young chap, about 5 years old,
Mm.
uh, when somebody asked him his name, he said, "Well, I'm called Timothy, but that's not my real name. My real name is," and he gave this other name. And he says, "Well, why do you think that?" He says, "Yeah, I used to fly airplanes during the Second World War." He says, and he named everybody who was in the airplane that was shot down,
Right.
that he was in where he died. And of course, a 5-year-old saying this couldn't possibly know all of these details. And the person he said it to noted all this down, and sure enough, he checked it all out, and it all checked out. You know, uh, and of course, you've got all these people that say, "I used to be a Roman centurion," which is like the typical one, or I was a some sort of king or something like that. You get very few people that say I was a peasant in my past life, but you know, there were always somebody important.
Yeah.
But it's all valid, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Should we research it? Of course we should. I'm not going to go with it until, yeah. I'm As you know, Steve, I read a lot of things about the occult and other things, and I have a spiritual side to me. But I will quite happily say I'm skeptical about it. Um, I do believe in the energy. I know what energy is. As an engineer, I believe in energy and other things. And yeah, maybe there could be something in some sort of as I say, some material from the heart. There's going to be exchanges between the heart, the body moves around, it regenerates and things. I Again, I don't know. I know how memories is kept in the brain, or think I do, with electrical impulses and things like that, where our brain is all about our survival. Our survival relies on our known knowledge. Um, how we develop, our life experiences. I mean, the next step would be, if what you're saying is true, we could actually ask somebody to imagine things like in Flash Gordon. Seen the Flash Gordon. No.
That's what the Pentagon did. That's what the
Yeah,
Pentagon did with their
yeah,
experiments in
yeah.
the
I mean,
80s and 90s.
you put the cap on and but I mean, yeah, there must be a way of decoding impulses around the brain on a universal level. Um, and again, if you could tell me,
Well, Elon Musk and et al. Right?
yeah,
They've got computers
yeah,
that work off of people's thoughts
yeah,
impulses.
yeah,
So they're capturing these impulses. They must
mm,
be because the computers are doing what the people are thinking.
yeah,
You know, they don't physically manipulate a computer. They just
no,
think about what they want it to do, and they do that. In the 80s and 90s,
mm,
they weren't so advanced.
no,
They it's more like sort of the what we'd call telepathy, I suppose.
yeah.
And you
Again,
know,
yeah, I had a teacher who believed in telepathy, and as I got older, I thought the energy that would be required to actually do that, we couldn't generate enough of it. And it's again, I talk in terms of energy. Um, yeah, there comes a point where you have to accept that maybe things aren't possible. I mean, telepathy, but being able to move or manipulate or move things and everything else would be wonderful.
and
Um,
I imagine your teacher was thinking to himself, well, this guy he is a bit low energy, telepathically thinking.
yeah, I know. Well, yeah. I'm not saying too much. Yeah, something. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, had to resign. Um, but it was a no, not because of anything particularly really really bad. It is
Who'd have
a
thought that? Who'd have thought that?
um. He's actually a clever guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly a bit too on some things, but yeah, it's a I can't accept that, Steve. Given what you just told me, I will go away and have a look at it a bit more, because I bring these things up in my with my students as well. Yeah, just these little nuggets of information.
Don't go too far off the beaten path because they'll think that you're a crazy guy.
They had me as a look, as I said, as I've already explained to my students. Yeah, I'm an English teacher living in Brazil. Yeah, let's not start with the am I of the sound mind? Yeah, not that Brazil's not a wonderful place to be. Yeah, that's just a bit of a joke we have. But no, I mean, I'm very, very, very careful. But yeah, I mean, yes, some students find it. As human beings, we're curious beings. Why does a child think this way? Why do I suddenly feel these feelings? Yeah. Why do I suddenly want to do that? Why am I the person I am? How much of are we influenced by other things? Like you say, we walk into a room, we feel something. Um, why do I believe in God? Why does somebody else not believe? Yeah. Um, which is again interesting. Yeah. Why are some people religious? And now I consider myself pragmatic. I read science and everything else. Logically, what I see around me is there. I feel there's a spiritual being. And again, this is all connected. Why
So
is
you
that?
be, so you believe that there's energy around us, but you
Yeah.
don't believe there's any connection between thoughts, between heart and mind.
Not directly like that. Yeah. No, I can't see it. I can't see that. But who knows? Maybe next year you'll do a podcast to prove me wrong, and yeah, but
I don't do these things to try and prove you wrong. If I find something that's interesting,
no, no,
we'll
no, no. It's
we'll,
yeah,
we'll,
yeah,
we'll share it. We'll
yeah. We
share it.
don't try and throw each other under the bus or anything else. People, we like to ponder it what each other's thinking. But yeah, I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand. I think it's very unlikely that I can put a new organ in someone and it's going to affect directly their brain. I do believe there are other things involved.
Okay, lovely.